Okay, we discuss about the concept of GDP, gross domestic product. There is another indicator which is gross national product. Okay, and this is the total income earned by the nation's factors of production, regardless of where located. So basically, the gross domestic product is the total market value of all final goods and services produced in the economy, no matter that output is produced by domestically owned factor of production or foreign factor of production. But if it is produced within your economic boundary, that will be included in gross domestic product. But in case of gross national product, this is the total income earned by the nation's factors of production. Okay, so regardless of where located. So you know some factors of production are working in some other countries. So in gross national product, we have to include their total income, which is earned by our factor of production, whether they are located in our national boundary or they are working in some other national boundaries. Okay, so this will be included. So this is basically the difference. Okay, so gross domestic product is the total income earned by domestically located factor of production regardless of nationality. So here we don't consider whether this is our factor of production or foreign factor of production. Once that output is produced within our economic boundary, that will be included in gross domestic product. But in case of gross national product, so we will only include the output which is produced by domestically owned factors of production. So this is the difference. So this means we have factor payment from abroad, and then we have factor payment to abroad, because once our factors of product are working in some other economic boundaries, then we have factor payment from abroad. Then the factors of production that are working in our boundaries, but they are not our factor of production. Basically, they are factor of production of some other economies. So there will be factor payments to abroad. Okay, so that's why we have to take the net. Okay, factor payment from abroad minus factor payment to abroad. So this is the net factor payments. Okay, now in case of so in case of if you take this as a net factor payment, okay, from abroad, because this is factor payment from abroad minus factor payment to abroad, then we have net factor payment from abroad. And if this is GDP, if you bring this GDP to the right hand side, so this means GNP is GDP plus net factor payment from abroad. Okay, so in this way we calculate GNP. Now if you want to know what is the net factor payment from abroad, from GNP you have to minus GDP. Okay, so this is the difference. So if there is suppose this net factor payment from abroad is 0, or there is no factor payment from abroad, there is no factor payment to abroad, okay, or these two are equal, so then in that case this will become 0, and then GNP will be equal to GDP. But if there is a positive net factor payment, okay, so in that case in your GDP there would be a positive number added to the figure of GDP. So in that case your GNP figure would be greater than the GDP figure. Okay, and if this is negative, okay, if our factor payment from abroad are less and the factor payment to abroad are more, then net factor payment would be negative. So in that case, GNP will be smaller than GDP. Then we have real GDP and the nominal GDP. Okay, so because GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced, so nominal GDP measure the value of these final goods and services using the current prices, but the real GDP measure these values using the prices of a base year. So this is the difference between the nominal GDP and real GDP. So in both cases, we have to take the value of final goods and services, but here we are taking the values using the current prices. Here we are taking the values using the base prices. So in this case, now if there is increase in nominal GDP, so we are not sure whether this increase is because of the increase in output or this is because of the increase in prices, because we are taking current prices. So if there is increase in current prices, then even if there is no change in output, okay, there is no change in the final goods and services produced, our GDP figure will increase, nominal GDP. But here in case of real GDP, this will only increase if there is an increase in the final goods and services produced, because here we are taking the prices of base year. So there is no impact of price in this case, real GDP, because we are taking a constant base year price. So real GDP will increase only if there is an increase in output produced. But nominal GDP can increase if there is increase in output produced or there is an increase in prices. So that's why real GDP is considered as a good measure of economic performance compared to nominal GDP, because sometimes this could be misleading. Now this is a practice problem. Okay, so we have two goods. Suppose there are two goods produced in the economy, good A and good B, and this is 2006, and this is the price of good A, $30, and this is the price of good B is $100, and 900 units of good A are produced, and 192 units of good B are produced. Okay, and in 2007, the price of good A increased from 30 to 31, and price of good B increased from 100 to 102. And also you can see that there is a change in production. So good A production increased from 900 to 1000, and good B production increased from 192 to 200. Okay, and then we have 2008. This is the price of good A in 2008, which is $36, and the price of good B in 2008 is $100. Okay, again it has decreased, but the production of good A has increased to 1050 units, and good B also increased to 205 units. Now you have to compute nominal GDP in each year. Okay, just use your copy and pen and calculate what would be the nominal GDP in 2006, 2007, and 2008. Give me the number. Okay, so
सर ये कैसे कंप्यूट होगा? एक्चुअली मैंने क्लास अभी अभी ज्वाइन की है.
Yes.
आप प्लीज इसको रिपीट कर देंगे?
You have to calculate nominal GDP for each year. Okay, so we have 2006, 2007, 2008. We discuss that nominal GDP measure the value of output at current prices. So it's very simple. What you have to do, you have to multiply the price of good A with the quantity of good A produced, and then you have to multiply the price of good B with the quantity of good B produced, and then add, so you will get the value of nominal GDP at in 2006. The same you have to do for 2007 and then 2008. करें ज़रा इसको. Yes, and give me the answer for 2006.
50,000 आ रहा है 2007 का रियल जीडीपी.
2006 का क्या आ रहा है?
6 का वही रहेगा.
2006 का आप कह रहे हैं 46,000, 46,200.
46,200.
46,200.
Yes, sir. 2006.
और 2007 का
51,400.
Yes, price
51,400.
51,000.
2008 का 58,300.
ओके, 58,300. सब लोग कैलकुलेट करें. It's very simple, very easy. You can calculate nominal GDP by simply multiplying the price with the quantity and then add. Because there are two goods produced in the economy. If there are more goods, same you have to do. You have to multiply the price of good with the quantity produced and then add for all goods. Then you will get a single number, okay? One number for each year. That numerical figure would be the GDP. सब लोग कैलकुलेट करें, फिर हम आगे बढ़ते हैं. चलें, मुझे अपने नंबर बताएं जिसने कैलकुलेट कर लिया है, वन बाय वन.
सर 2006 में 46,200. 2007 में 51,400.
अगर किसी का डिफरेंट आ रहा है, आप कह रहे हैं 46, आप अपने नंबर बता दें. जिनका नंबर डिफरेंट आएगा फिर वो हमें बताएं. बाकी जिनका नंबर इनके नंबर से सेम है, देन इट्स ओके. Yes, 2006, what is the value?
Sir, 46,200.
Yes, 46,200 से किसी का डिफरेंट है नंबर, वो बता दें मुझे.
हेलो.
Yes. If you got a different number, then just tell me for 2006. Yes? All of you are getting 46,200 for 2006. Okay? Yes, then sir. Let's move to 2007. What is the number for nominal GDP?
Sir, there's some problem in your voice, sir. I think there's some problem in your connection, or it would be there's some problem in my connection.
51,400.
51,400 to 2007 का सबके आंसर 51,400 हैं. किसी का डिफरेंट है तो वो मुझे बता दें. Yes? So all of you are getting same number. Let's move to 2008. What is the number for 2008?
Sir, 58,300.
58,300. All of you are getting, is there any student who is getting a different answer for 2008? Yes? No. Okay. Let's move to, now you have to compute real GDP. Okay. Don't look at the slide, next slide. Okay. Otherwise you will not learn. So you have to compute now real GDP in each year using 2006 as base year. Now, if we use 2006 as base year, so again, because when we want to calculate nominal GDP, we have to multiply price with quantity. If we want to calculate real GDP, again we have to multiply price with quantity. But the difference is, in case of nominal GDP, we have to take current prices. These are the current prices for 2006. These are the current prices for 2007. These are the current prices for 2008. But in case of real GDP, we have to take the base year price. Now, for 2006, because the base year price and current price is same, okay, so that's why this means the real GDP value for 2006 would be same as the value of nominal GDP. Okay, the same. I think 46,000. how many? क्या वैल्यू थी?
46,200.
Yes, इसका मतलब ये है कि nominal GDP is 46,200 and real GDP will also be 46,200 for 2006. लेकिन 2007 का जो रियल जीडीपी है वो ज़रूरी नहीं है कि सेम हो नॉमिनल जीडीपी के, बिकॉज नाउ व्हाट वी हैव टू डू, we have to take the prices of 2006 and quantity of 2007. Then the number that we will get would be the real GDP for 2007. Okay, now calculate the real GDP for 2007 by taking the prices of 2006 and the quantity of 2007. Yes, and give me the answer.
Sir, 50,000.
50,000. Okay. What about others? All of you are getting 50,000 for real GDP in case of 2007.
Yes, sir.
सर मेरा 2007 में 20,000 आ रहा है सर.
आपके 2007 का 20,000 आ रहा है, और किसका डिफरेंट आंसर आ रहा है वो बता दे. आपका जो 20,000 आ रहा है, आपने क्या किया है, आपने इसको मल्टीप्लाई किया है $30 को मल्टीप्लाई कर.
नहीं सर, गुड बी का निकाला है सर मैंने 2006 में.
जीडीपी हर गुड का नहीं होता ना. जीडीपी इज द टोटल मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ ऑल फाइनल गुड, ऑल. तो जितने भी गुड होंगे उन सब की वैल्यू को ऐड करेंगे ना. इस तरह तो अब इकोनॉमी में अगर 5,000 गुड्स हैं तो 5,000 जीडीपी की फिगर तो नहीं होगी ना, एक फिगर होगी ना जीडीपी.
ठीक है,
कैलकुलेट करें आप दोबारा. Yes. Anyone else who's getting a different answer than 50,000 for 2007? Just simply multiply this $30 by this quantity.
Okay sir, 50,000.
Okay, no? And this multiply by this. So 50,000. Yes, all of you. Then let's calculate real GDP for 2008. 2008 के लिए calculate करें. Real GDP. 52,000 आ रहा है.
Yes, sir. 52,000.
अच्छा. Anyone else who's getting a different answer for the real GDP in 2008? Okay, let's check the answer. Okay, answer. So for nominal GDP, check your answer. You got 46,200 for 2006, and for 2007 51,400. Okay, and for 2008 you got 58,300. You got the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, for nominal GDP. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है ना, आपने जो है मल्टीप्लाई किया प्राइस एंड क्वांटिटी फॉर द सेम ईयर. अब रियल जीडीपी के आंसर्स चेक करते हैं. ओके, So real GDP, we have to multiply each year quantities by 2006 price. Okay, because 2006 is our base year. So 46,200, you can see that nominal GDP and real GDP for base year would be same. Okay, this is also same. But for 2007, real GDP is 50,000. And here the nominal GDP is 51,400. And for 2008, real GDP is 52,000. But here it is 58,300. So now you are able to calculate the nominal GDP, you are able to calculate real GDP. Yes, you have to take care that in case of real GDP, you have to take base year price and current year quantity. In case of nominal GDP, we have to take current year price and current year quantity. This is the difference. Can you calculate real GDP for growth rate? आप growth rate निकाल सकते हैं? कितना हुआ है? 2007 से 2008 का real GDP growth rate calculate करें. You know how to calculate growth rate? We take current value minus previous value divided by previous value multiplied by 100. देखें तो real GDP, what is the real GDP growth rate from 2007 to 2008? क्या figure आ रही है?
13.4, sir.
13.4%?
Yes, sir.
Or anyone else is getting a different answer? Yes? All of you are getting same answer? आपने क्या कहा 13.4%? Yes.
Yes, sir.
कैसे
13.4.
कैलकुलेट किया था 13.4%?
सर हमने ऐसे किया था 58,300 को माइनस किया था 51,400 और डिवाइड किया था 51,400
मैं
से.
तो रियल जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट की बात कर रहा हूँ.
अच्छा सॉरी सर बाय मिस्टेक हमने नॉमिनल किया था सर हमने.
रियल जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट, आई वांट दिस.
ओके सर. फोर परसेंट सर.
क्या आंसर है?
4%.
यस 4%. किसी का आंसर डिफरेंट आ रहा है 4% से? रियल जीडीपी ग्रोथ रेट फ्रॉम 2007 to 2008. Okay, so it's 4%. So you can also calculate now real GDP growth rate. It's very simple, no? You have to take current value minus past value divided by past value multiplied by 100. Then you will get growth rate in percentage. So we saw that real GDP control for inflation. So changes in nominal GDP can be due to changes in prices, okay? Because we are taking the current prices. So if price increases, nominal GDP will change. And
No display.
so this means real GDP controls for inflation. Okay. Then we have a concept of GDP deflator. Okay. So GDP deflator is a general price level. Okay. And we can also calculate the inflation rate. Okay. Using the GDP deflator because GDP is the overall level of prices. So if we take the growth rate of GDP deflator, we will get the inflation rate. So let's see how to calculate GDP deflator. So the price level, GDP deflator is also general price level. So it's very simple. GDP deflator is nominal GDP divided by real GDP multiplied by 100. Okay, so you will get, so GDP deflator is basically index. I hope you studied index number in your statistics course. Index number पढ़ा है statistics में? Yes?
नहीं सर.
Index
sir.
number नहीं पढ़ा? Statistics में index
No
number
sir, no sir, नहीं पढ़ा.
कभी सुना है index number?
सुना है सर, भूल गया, बहुत काफी टाइम पहले पढ़ा था.
क्या है ना? हाँ.
सुना तो है सर,
सुना है ना, इंडेक्स नंबर सुना है. तो इंडेक्स नंबर में जो बेस ईयर इंडेक्स की वैल्यू क्या होती है? व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ बेस ईयर फॉर इंडेक्स नंबर? यहाँ पे देखें, वी डिस्कस के बेस ईयर जो है हमारे केस में 2006 था. तो बेस ईयर में नॉमिनल जीडीपी और रियल जीडीपी सेम थे या डिफरेंट थे? Look at the base year nominal GDP and same है ना? Base year 2006 है, यहाँ 46,200. Base year 2006 में real GDP भी 46,200. तो अगर बेस ईयर के नॉमिनल और रियल जीडीपी सेम है, तो फिर बेस ईयर में जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर की वैल्यू क्या होगी?
0 होगा सर. 1 आएगा सर. 1 it would be 1.
ये यहाँ पे देखें, ये 100 से मल्टीप्लाई हो रहा है. 100 बेस ईयर की जो वैल्यू होगी 100. अगर हम 100 से मल्टीप्लाई नहीं करेंगे तो फिर जो है उसकी वैल्यू 1 आएगी. बट हियर वी आर मल्टीप्लाइंग बाय.
सर 100 ही हो जाएगी.
सर व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय 100? मैम 100% होगा, मतलब जो लास्ट ईयर साल भी 100% होगा, इसका मतलब यही है सर.
अच्छा, now let's calculate the GDP deflator. तो आप मुझे कैलकुलेट करके बताएं. यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट. तो 2006 की जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर, व्हाट वुड बी 2006 जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर? अभी हमने डिस्कस 100.
सर.
तो ये तो आपको पता चल गया. अब नाउ यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर फॉर 2007 एंड 2008.
वन 102.8 हो जाएगा 2007 का. 102.8.
जी सर 102.8.
112.1 हो जाएगा 8 का.
हेलो टीचर की आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Okay. Do you have the answers?
Yes, sir.
आपने जीडीपी डिफ्लेटर 2007 का कैलकुलेट कर लिया? What is the answer?
Yes, sir.
What is the answer for
102.8, sir.
102.8? What is the answer for GDP deflator of 2008?
Sir,
Double one,
112.1.
2 point. Yes, sir. जी same है, sir.
क्या आंसर है?
112.1.
100?
Sir, 112.1.
Okay, 112.1. Okay.
112.1.
Anyone who has different answer?
No, sir.
All of you have same answer? What
Yes,
about
sir.
inflation rate? Now you have to calculate inflation rate. For inflation rate, we have to take the growth rate of GDP deflator. So if you want to calculate the inflation rate for 2007, you have to take the growth rate of GDP deflator. So it means you will take the value of 2007 GDP deflator, okay? And
वॉल्यूम काफी स्लो है।
yes, to calculate inflation rate, you have to take the value of GDP deflator of 2007 minus the value of GDP deflator of 2006 divided by value of GDP deflator of 2006, okay, and then multiply by 100.
Sir, If I am not wrong, I think GDP deflator will show the relationship between the nominal GDP and the real GDP.
सर 2.8 आ रहा है इन्फ्लेशन 2007 का और 2008 का 9.3 आ रहा है.
ओके ठीक है, आपने आंसर दे दिया, बाकियों के आंसर देखते हैं. Yes, do you have answers for inflation rate? So, what is the answer for inflation rate in 2007?
2.8.
2.8 से किसी का डिफरेंट आंसर है तो बता दे. आप नहीं बता रहे, इसका मतलब है सबका आंसर 2.8 है. और 2008 का आंसर क्या है? You have to take GDP
Sir, ये
deflator of
excuse me, sir. So for 2007, it is 2.72, and I think it's rounded off to 2.8.
Okay, then what about 2008?
9.05, sir.
9.05 सबका आ रहा है.
112.1.
112.1.
GDP
तो GDP डिफ्लेटर होगा ना, मैं इन्फ्लेशन रेट की बात कर रहा हूँ. For
Sir, it's
inflation rate
8.29, sir.
8.29. 8.29 सबका आंसर है.
8.29 for 2008 inflation rate is to 8.29.
लास्ट ईयर से कंपेयर नहीं होगा 2007 से 9.3 मेरा बन रहा है सर ये
2007
9
मैंने 2007 से
9.05
निकाला है.
बनता है मेरा.
Okay.
Yes. Let me show you the answer now. Then you can. Okay, you got these answers? यही आंसर हैं आपके? ठीक है. Okay, so today's lecture, now you know how to calculate nominal GDP, how to calculate real GDP. You also know how to calculate the price level, what is GDP deflator, and you also know how to calculate inflation rate. You also know how to calculate GDP growth rate. Okay, so I will stop my lecture here. Okay, so next class we will do some exercise related to these. I will give you a small test. So get ready for that test, because if you have any problem, just look at the slides how to calculate these numbers. Okay, nominal GDP, real GDP, GDP deflator, and inflation rate, and real GDP growth rate. And then we will continue to calculate inflation using consumer price index. Okay, so I will stop my lecture here.